a little story time of how I caught this girl who was messing with my dude hiding in his closet. Yeah, I caught that little nasty hoe hiding in his closet. Now, I will admit, it was partially my fault because I was dating somebody who was known for being a capital H-O-E, okay? But me being stupid, I'm like, power of the P-U-S-S-Y, I'm gonna change this man. Ladies, don't ever do that because that is stupid. So I met this guy through a friend, and off rip, she told me, she was like, listen, he's a real cool guy. He'll spend whatever on you, but he got hoes. And I really didn't care too much about it because it was like, okay, we're just gonna get to know each other. Like, I didn't expect for us to be serious, take it seriously. It was just like, you know, somebody to talk to, somebody to pass time with. Let me tell y'all something. He was fine as hell, okay? And he was out there doing his thing. Well, he was scamming. So he was really nice looking, had his own, he was making a little bit of money, and everything was really, really good with him. And before I knew it, child, I was in my feelings about him. And then he finally asked me to be his girlfriend. So before I agreed, like, I did tell him that, you know, I heard certain things about him and that, you know, I wasn't going to deal with that. I wasn't willing to be bothered with no other female. And he was like, nah, you know, he only does his thing when he's not in a relationship. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's make it happen. Now, the house he was staying at, he did tell me that him and his ex-girlfriend did live there together and that she still had his key. And so I asked him, I'm like, why didn't you get your key back if, you know, y'all not together anymore? And he was telling me how, you know, they was still like kind of going back and forth and this, that, and the third. But then when he finally decided that he didn't want to deal with her no more, he just never found the time to go and get his key. So then I asked him, why don't you just change the locks? And he was like, nah, you know, I'm just going to go get my key. So that should have been red flag number one. But like I said, I was all in my feelings about him. So I just completely put that off to the side. Like, I didn't even think about it. So y'all, a few months later, an incident happens in front of his house, which I should have left him when it happened. But I was so like crazy about him that, y'all, I just decided to stay. So one day I pull up to his house and he is outside, like, I could tell like he was yelling, like going back and forth with the female. So I'm looking like, who the hell is this? Because I've never seen that person before. So I jump out the car, and as soon as I get out the car, he's like, Lisa, get inside the house. And I'm like, why do you want me getting inside the house? I'm like, who is this? He was like, Lisa, I got it. Just get inside the house. So then she points her, you know, her direction towards me, and she's like, oh, who the fuck are you? So I'm like, bitch, I'm his girlfriend. Who the fuck are you? And she was like, ain't no way you could be his girlfriend because I still got keys to this house and I be here all the time. Okay, guys, so part two. So now this girl talking about some she be in the house all the time. So I automatically look at him and I'm just like, what you mean she be in the house all the time? And he was like, man, she don't be over here. Do y'all know this girl says she be in the house watching me and him sleep? Now, baby, if that wasn't scary, I don't know what the hell is. So, of course, now I'm like, you know what? I'm not coming over here anymore. I'm not about to be in the room, sleeping, minding my business, counting sheep, and somebody is standing over me watching like a freaking stalker. So I told him, you know what? No, I'm finna go home. So he was like, no, just go inside the house. I'm gonna handle it. So I go inside the house and I hear him like yelling at her, telling her she's crazy, she's psycho. He was like, you know, telling her to get from around here. And she was like, no, I'm never going to leave you alone. You need to tell her to leave because I'm not leaving. And then finally he was like, you know what? F it. You keep the key. So anyway, y'all, he comes back in the house finally after like going back and forth with this girl. And I'm pressing him about this key situation because it's like, if you and this person are done, like y'all really, really done, why do they still have a key to your house? Like, that's crazy to me. If me and somebody are living together and we break up, first of all, I'm not worried about getting a key back. I'm automatically changing the locks because people are freaking crazy. And clearly she was out of her mind. So then I tell him, I'm like, listen, I just think we should just, like, let's just cut ties because I don't want to be bothered with none of the foolishness. I am not down for the craziness. Like, I love my life. I'm trying to live it to the fullest. And he was just like, don't worry about it. I'm going to change the locks. I'm like, on just the front door or every door? And then he was like, oh, she only has the keys to the front. So I'm like, why don't you just change the locks to everything? Because with her talking about something, she be coming in here standing watching us, you know, sleep. Who knows what she did when y'all was together? She probably made keys of every door in this house. So then he proceeds to tell me, oh, don't worry about it. It's not that serious. she's crazy, but she ain't that crazy. I'm like, sir, there's no limitation on crazy. There's no such thing as she's not that crazy. So I'm sitting on the couch and he comes over to me. He's just like, you know, he's going to fix everything. He was like, for now, he'll just, you know, come see me instead of me coming over to his house, because he just, you know, he didn't want there to be any more issues with her like showing up, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, well, if you're going to handle it, just make sure you handle it all the way. Like, she don't need to be popping up over here. She don't need to be calling your phone. She don't need to be texting you. There should be no communication. Like, you need to cut every single tie with this girl, like every tie known to mankind. So now the mutual friend that hooked us up or whatever, I was telling her about the situation, and she was telling me, yeah, she know the girl. She was like, the girl is a little psycho, but she's like, she really is not going to do anything. And she was telling me how, like, whenever he didn't pick up the phone, how she would pop up at her boyfriend's house, which is his homeboy. And I'm just like, maybe this is not for me anymore. Part 3, guys. A few weeks goes by now, and the girl is completely MIA. Like, she is nowhere to be found. No calls, no text messages, no pop-ups, not at his house, not at the homeboy house. Like, she's just completely nowhere to be found. And he actually changed the locks to all the doors in his house. So we're in a pretty good place at this point. But then out of nowhere, y'all, he just completely switches it up on me. So here go issue number 1. I'm at his house one day, and his phone rings and he didn't pick it up, which was very, very, very weird to me, because he always, when I say always, that boy always pick up his phone, usually on the first ring, because it wasn't only just like his personal phone. That's where he did all his scamming. Okay, so all his business, all his transactions, everything he did on that phone. So he didn't pick it up, and I kind of looked at him funny, but then I was just like, you know what, whatever. Then out of nowhere, like, I hear another phone ringing, and I'm just like, okay, where is this coming from? Like, where is this phone coming from? So the phone is ringing. Obviously he didn't pick it up. Then again, this mysterious phone that came out of nowhere starts to ring. He jets off to the room, and I hear him say, I'm gonna call you back. And then I guess, I don't know what the person said on the other end. He was like, yo, I said I'm gonna call you back. So then he comes back out, and I'm just like, okay, since when do you have 2 phones? And he was like, oh, I always had 2 phones. I don't know why you tripping. Like, he was being super, super defensive for no reason. I'm just trying to figure out where the second phone came from, because I never knew anything about it. I didn't have the numbers to the phone. Like, what's up? So then he tries to convince me that that phone was strictly for business. And that the only people who had that number were the people that, you know, he had dealings with, or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, if that is, you know, supposedly your business phone, why didn't you go ahead and just complete your transaction? Like, why did you hang up so quickly, telling the person on the other line that you finna call him back? So then he was like, oh, I'm asking too many questions, that, you know, I just need to chill. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna chill. Like, that's really funny to me. Like, you got some explaining to do. So then this man tells me that if I'm going to keep tripping and keep bothering him about this phone, that I pretty much can just go home. So I was like, okay, no problem. I got my stuff and I went home. Now, after that happened, y'all, it was like thing after thing after thing. Like, everything really just started going downhill really, really fast. So issue number 2, y'all. Now, every once in a while, he would like sell things to people. You know, they would come over, he would go outside, give them their package, they give him the money, and he's right back inside, maybe all of 2 to 3 minutes. But then I started noticing that he would be outside for longer and longer periods of time. So one time I said, you know what, let me be nosy, because he started being outside with these people like 30 and 45 minutes. So he goes outside one night to, you know, do his little transaction, and I happened to look, and y'all, it was a whole female in the car. Let me go ahead and give y'all part 4. So I noticed it was a female that he was outside with. So I said to myself, let me take my happy self outside and sit on the front porch and act like I'm finna smoke. So I go outside, and he must have noticed me immediately, because he jumped out the car and he was like, all right. And the person pulled off. So he comes up to the porch. He's like, what you doing outside? I was like, came outside to smoke. He was like, why you ain't just wait for me? I'm like, why do I have to wait for you? So I could automatically tell like something was just completely off. Now, I didn't press the issue, but I did tell him that whatever people do in the dark always comes out in the light. So the weekend comes, and his homeboy threw like a little get together at his place. And as soon as we pull up, I just knew I saw the car that he was sitting in. Now, granted, a lot of people got the same car, but it was something about that car, just like my gut feeling telling me, yeah, the car that he was sitting in a few nights before. So we go inside, and I see my homegirl, and I'm talking to her. We chopping it up or whatever. And then I just so happened to notice that there was a female being super, super friendly with him, like touchy-feely, like extra giggly, like just doing way too much. Homegirl, like, do you know this chick? And she was like, oh yeah, that's their homegirl. She's always around. They all have known her, like all the boys have known her for a long time. She's just their friend. So I'm like, if she's just their friend, why is she being so friendly? And she was like, she don't know, that's how she is, but she's just a homegirl. So I'm like, all right, cool. I walk over there, and as soon as I get over there, like her attitude completely changed. Now, mind you, like I said, she was super friendly, like super giggly, just all googly eyed. But as soon as I walked over by my dude, her attitude just went to shit. So I introduced myself, and I was like, hey, I'm Lisa. And she was like, oh, hey, I'm Ashley. And I'm like, okay, hey, Ashley, nice to meet you. But she was just super, super dry with it. So I didn't pursue any more conversation with her. So I kind of like grabbed him, and we walk, to the other side of dude's house or whatever the case may be. And so I asked him, I'm like, what's up with her? And he was like, oh, that's my homegirl. And I was like, okay, is that the girl that you was in the car with the other night? And he looked like almost like he had no choice but to admit it. So he was like, yeah, that's my people's, whatever the case may be. She come and she be copping stuff from me. I was like, oh, okay. And then I didn't say anything else about it. So it's the end of the night, and the party pretty much dies off. Like, everybody's starting to disperse, everybody going home, and he's nowhere to be found. And then I also noticed that the girl is nowhere to be found, Ashley. So I go, I'm looking for him. I don't see him, and then I head towards the door. When I head towards the front door, he's coming in, and I just so happen to look, and I see the car pull off, which obviously at this point is Ashley's car. Now, I was supposed to spend the night at his house, but I told him just take me home because, baby, I couldn't take no more. While I was silent the whole ride home, he kept asking me, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not talking? I just couldn't be bothered. So he drops me off and attempts to kiss me goodnight, and I'm just like, Argh! I'm good. As soon as I get in the house, he is calling me, blowing me up, but I didn't care to answer. Then he sends me a text message saying, oh, I see you got an attitude. Call me when you're in a better mood. So I ignored that, didn't reply. So now, y'all, I'm ready to go to sleep. As soon as my head hit the damn pillow, my homegirl calls me, and she just like, bitch, where you at? I'm like, I'm home. She was like, okay, I'm not supposed to be saying anything, but she said, I heard the boys talking, and she say, I think your dude fuck with Ashley. So I'm like, really? So she goes to giving me the tea, basically just telling me, the little bit that she heard. So I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks for looking out. So then I jump up, put my clothes on, and I get in my car because now I'm headed over to him because we need to talk. I call him before I come over, but this time I really didn't care to call. I'm like, I'm just gonna pop up. So I pull up and I call him to let him know that I'm outside, but he doesn't answer the phone. So I go up to the door, I'm knocking, nobody answers. Call him again, still nothing. But obviously he's home because I see his car parked in the front. So now I go around to the side of the house where his room is so I can knock on the window because I'm assuming maybe he's sleeping. So as soon as I get over to the side, I'm noticing that he's like running towards the front of the house. So then I come back over to the front, and he opens the door and he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I came over here because we need to talk. And he was like, oh, why you didn't call me before you came? And I'm just like, I said, I was just in a rush. I just really want to talk to you and just get this out. So then he pulls the door behind him, and then he comes outside. And I'm like, why are you pulling the door? Why can't I come inside the house? And he was like, I don't feel like talking inside the house. And I'm like, no, we need to go inside and talk. So I push past him. He like grabs me by the waist, like trying to prevent me from going inside the house. But at this point, I already got the front door open, and then I see female Gucci slides at the front. So I asked him, I'm just like, whose slides are these? And he didn't say anything. I'm like, yo, whose slides are these? And I'm like, is somebody here? He was like, nah, you tripping. I'm like, no, somebody got to be here because whose slides are these? So my immediate thought is to go into his bedroom because I know somebody's at the house, but he keeps blocking me. But y'all, let me tell you something. It came to a point where you would have thought I played for the damn NFL because the way I shook him and was able to get around him, y'all, I jetted past him, got to his bedroom and closed the door behind me. And for whatever reason, my very first instinct was to go to his closet. Him talking about something, Lisa, chill, Lisa, chill, Lisa, chill. But by then, baby, I made my way to his closet. I opened the damn closet, and y'all, guess who the hell was in there? Ashley. All right, let's get into part 6. So now, y'all, me and Ashley just staring each other down, and my immediate reaction was to just start laughing. Like, I don't know if it was a this can't be happening laugh, what the fuck is going on laugh, damn you look stupid, cooped up in a damn closet, half naked laugh. Like, I just started laughing. Like, I didn't have any other reaction but the damn laugh. So now my dude, or our dude, I guess by now, he busts through the damn door like a police with a warrant. And before he could even say anything to me, I looked at him and I was like, you know what? Y'all deserve each other. Brushed past him, left the house, got in my car, and went home. So I called my homegirl. I tell her what just happened. And she had me on speaker because I hear her boyfriend saying, man, I told that boy he was going to get caught. Like that was supposed to make me feel any better about the situation. So now, y'all, this man goes to blowing on my phone, like calling and texting, back to back, texting me, or pick up the effing phone. We need to talk. This is not over. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what do we really need to talk about? Like, I just caught a whole female in your closet half naked. Like, there's really, I mean, what needs to be said? So I just ended up calling T-Mobile, changed my phone number, called my best friend to see if she was home. I went to her house because I figured he would try and pop up at my house. And then for like several weeks, he kept popping up at my house. So I just told my people to tell him that I didn't want to talk to him until he finally got the picture. And then after that, we never talked again, never saw him again, never heard from him again.